Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Namti. Before we get started with today's video, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you are notified every time I drop a video.
I wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know.
So the first time I heard about the IELTS exam was in March this year, and I had no idea what it was. What I knew was that it's just an English test, and that was not enough for me, unfortunately. So I had to do a little bit of research because I can't sit for an exam that I know nothing about. And then I came across this video on TikTok. So it was this guy, he was basically making a video about the requirements of going to the UK, and then IELTS was one of the requirements. So I decided to look into the comments, and then I found out there are a lot of people who are either gonna be sitting for the IELTS exam or they wrote the IELTS exam already. And then there was this comment that I just booked my exam and then I'm gonna be writing in 2 months time. I was like, 2 months? Isn't that like, that was like too much for me. I can't book now for something that I'm gonna write in 2 months time. So I looked at the replies as to why did this girl decided to book 2 months in advance. And then I saw that, okay, there's a lot of preparation that goes into writing the exam. So I asked them, is it necessary to like book in advance? Can't I book this week and then write the following week? And then this girl replied that no, it's quite a hard exam, so you need time to prepare, at least 2 months. I was like, there is no way I'm gonna prepare for an exam for 2 months English, no ways. So this girl said, okay, just make sure YouTube is your friend for 2 months before you at least write the exam. So I went into YouTube and then I found out that there are like 4 sections into the exam. So there are 4 sections for this exam, which is the IELTS speaking, the speaking, reading, writing and listening. So speaking is basically an interview between 2 people. I was like, okay, interview. I hate interviews. But then let me just look if it's gonna be like how intense or how easy is the interview. And then I decided to look at some of the videos, and then I noticed that, okay, there's nothing much, like it's just a normal interview. Then some people, they recommended that you need to play with your words, learn new words that you're gonna speak. So I learned quite a few words, but then I didn't use any of those words. I was nervous, so I didn't use any of those words. I used like my basic vocab that I use on a regular basis. After I gathered all the information that I needed regarding the test, I was like, okay, I'm gonna prepare once I have registered for the exam. But then after doing my course, I was bored. I decided, okay, let me try and download some apps. There should be apps on Play Store or the App Store. So I I
So
came
this is
across
the app.
this
I downloaded it
this
for
app.
free on the App Store. So it has the questions, and then you're gonna need a partner that's gonna help you. So the partner must read out the questions. The partner is supposed to ask you the questions, and then you're supposed to answer the questions. So it's very helpful. I highly recommend it. It worked for me for my speaking test because I did not know how to answer the questions. So here the app guides you as to how to answer the questions. So you can just go through, even if it's gonna be every day on the, like, it depends how long you're gonna need to prepare for the test. So you can even do it every day, or even if it's gonna be every second day, or whatever works for you. So I highly recommend.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing really.
Let's watch a movie or something.
What's on these days?
I think they're playing Lord of the Rings.
That sounds pretty good. Let's watch that.
Where should we meet?
How about at the subway entrance?
Alright, I'll meet you there at 1 o'clock.
So what I did, I went on YouTube and then I looked at some of the examples of the writing, listening, speaking, and reading. Yeah, so it was basically tips. So the tip that I got on their reading section is that you cannot read everything because there won't be time. You just have to learn to scan through the paragraphs. That's what I got on the reading section. Okay, so I booked for my exam end of July, and then I decided, okay, I don't want to write, I want the nearest date. So the nearest date I got was for, I don't remember, but it was, I think, the second week of August. So I basically had 2 weeks to prepare for my exam. So on the first day that I registered for my test, I made a timetable, and the band that I was aiming for was band 8. So I was told that I need band 4 for my visa, but I was like, okay, let me just aim for something higher. Then I know that if I don't get 8, then I get something, because I cannot just aim for 4. What if I get 3? So the time I booked the test, I was in Eastern Cape, and I was gonna write the test in Centurion, which is in Gauteng. So what I did, I noticed that what I didn't know was that it's actually much easier to book for people who need more time. So if you know that you need 2 months to actually prepare for your exam, it's better for you to book in advance. Because what I've noticed that on that there is actually something called gel IELTS. So after you've booked, you have access to their website whereby you can start preparing. And what I've also noticed, they have Zoom meetings. They have Zoom meetings, so you can book, you can actually register for a meeting. Let's say at 4 p.m. they're gonna be talking about what is it that they are looking for in the writing section, like the criteria, the marking criteria for the writing section. So there is someone that is gonna be talking about what exactly is that they are looking for. So that's what I wish I knew before actually writing the test, because I would have booked maybe 1 month in advance if I knew that. So as soon as you book for your IELTS test, you get access to the gel IELTS. I think it's gel IELTS, whereby you can start preparing for yourself. There is absolutely like this is my opinion. I was like, there is no way that I'm gonna pay for classes or for someone to mark my things or whatever. And then when I went onto Facebook, and then I saw that there are a lot of people who are looking for speaking partners. I was like, speaking partner for what? And mind you, I was in Eastern Cape, so 98% of the time I was speaking Xhosa, not English. I was like, okay, maybe I need a speaking partner, but I'm like, okay, there is no way that I'm gonna need a speaking partner. Let me just leave it like that. But then whenever I'm on Facebook, I would like go to that, I forgot the name of the page, but it was not as helpful to me because it was basically people posting, they were posting their essays and asking others if they can check or mark, double check if they wrote the correct way, and criticize if they have to. So I was like, I'm not bored actually. I actually I was just lazy because I was doing nothing. I was done with my course, so I had all the time. But then I never attempted to write an essay, to practice or whatever. I didn't. What I did, I just registered for a Zoom meeting so that I know their writing criteria, or like when I'm writing, what is it that I must not leave out, what is it that is not important. So for me, that worked for me, I think, because I think I got six and a half. Yeah, I received 6.5 for writing. So for me, that was something, even though I was aiming for an 8, because I know I did not practice. And then another thing for listening. So since I was in Eastern Cape, I decided, okay, let me just go to Gauteng for another week, because I had 2 weeks. So 1 week I was in Gauteng, I was in Eastern Cape, then the next week I came to Gauteng. So I came 1 week before my actual test day, or my actual exam day. So when I came to Gauteng, I know that, okay, at home we speak English like maybe 80% of the time, or 70% of the time is English. So that was gonna work for me, seeing that a lot of people need speaking partners. So that worked well for me. And another thing is that in Gauteng there's a lot of language barrier. So most of the time I do speak English when I'm in Gauteng compared to when I'm in Eastern Cape, because 95% of the time I'm speaking Xhosa. I hardly speak English when I'm there. So I was like, okay, for my speaking test, let me just go to Gauteng. So the section that was stressing me the most was the reading, no, the writing section, because I knew that I did not prepare, but I know what they are looking for. I know what is it that they are looking for. So I was not worried. I was quite worried about my speaking exam. So I booked my speaking exam 2 days before my writing. So I went for a speaking test. I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie, because when I got there, I got to use the new words that I have learned. So I used my everyday vocab. But then as soon as I heard that the examiner was overseas, I think I was a bit calm because it was a Zoom. Yeah, it was a Zoom interview, but I was at the offices. And the examiner she was calm, and I think that's what made me relaxed, and I was able to get a high score. I did not expect Shem to get a 7. I did not expect it. I think maybe if I used the new vocab that I've learned, I would have got a better mark. I don't know. But then 7 is fine for me. So the app was quite useful for me because it guided me as to how to answer the questions, especially in the speaking exam, because I didn't know that I didn't have to give out short answers. So it guided me as to that I have to elaborate and give an example where it needs be.